Namaste friends, this is your friend Navneet from Divinity World. In today's short video, we'll be talking about the East Indian state of Odisha. Now, Odisha is the same Kalinga which fiercely fought with the great Ashoka emperor, and it had a life-changing impact on Ashoka's life forever. It has also been mentioned as Utkal in our national anthem and been addressed in the ancient times. Its capital city Bhubaneswar in the medieval times was a home to more than 600 temples, which is highest across any city in the world. So, hence, till today, Bhubaneswar is also called the Temple City of India. Now, any talk about Odisha is incomplete if I don't mention the legend of Jagannath Puri at the first instance. Now, Jagannath Puri is one of the four Char Dhams of Hindu religion. As per Hindu religion tradition, the Char Dham Yatra has to start from Jagannath Puri, moving in a clockwise direction to Rameshwaram in south, to the Dwarka in the west, and finally culminating at Badrinath Dham in Uttarakhand. Now, Jagannath Puri is also one of the world's largest kitchen because 56 kind of food is being prepared for the deity, which is Bhagwan Jagannath or the Lord Jagannath. Now, the legend of Jagannath Puri is very interesting, my dear friends. It's an interesting story. Please hear it very carefully. In the 11th century, there was a king by the name of Indradyumna who had a dream, and he was a devout disciple of Bhagwan Vishnu. The holy voice told him that he will appear in the form of a tree log near the seashore of Puri. Confused, he woke up from his dream, but he followed the directive and he sent his forces to find that log on the seashore. As it turned out, there was indeed a log. And he was very much confused with that. Again, the holy voice told him to make a temple and make idols out of that particular tree log and place them in that temple. He followed that direction. It is also being told that the Lord Vishwakarma, he took the responsibility of building the temple, while Bhagwan Vishnu or Lord Vishnu came in the form of a carpenter and asked the king that I will make the idols. So king allowed him the permission to make the idols from that tree log. But he made a condition to the king. He said, till the moment I am making the idols, nobody should disturb me, and it should happen behind a closed door. The king agreed to it. And thus the work started by the carpenter, right? To be very specific, Bhagwan Vishnu himself, who came in the form of carpenter. And the work started, and after a couple of weeks or so, suddenly the sound stopped coming from that particular big room in which the carpenter or the Bhagwan Vishnu was making those idols from the tree log. The queen sort of forced king that she's getting very much confused, and she actually want these doors to be open to check whether the person is alive or not, the carpenter is alive or not. The king was adamant that he would want to follow the conditions set by the carpenter and he would not do so, but the queen insisted and king was forced to get the doors open. As soon as the doors got opened, it was Bhagwan Vishnu who was making those idols, and when the king and the queen watched him, he suddenly disappeared. King was very angry with himself and he was very upset. But then again the holy voice came and said that do not worry, whatever is being made out there, establish them in your temple. And my dear friends, when you visit the Jagannath Puri temple, you'll see the idols of Balbhadra, Subhadra and Jagannath with their hands incomplete. So he established that temple and he placed those idols there. And of course, we have that world famous Rath Yatra, which is being held every year, my dear friends. The food which is being served to Lord Jagannath is being done 6 times a day, and not a single ounce of food is getting wasted. It is being distributed to the entire city, and especially to the people who need it the most, which are the beggars. So that's about the Jagannath Puri temple. In some other video, I'll talk in great length about this temple of huge importance, right? We move to another temple of world famous importance, and that is the Konark temple or the Sun temple, which is again based in Puri. Now, why it is called Konark? So Konark is basically a Sanskrit word. Kon means the fringe or the corner, and the arc, the meaning of the arc is the sun itself, right? So this temple is also called the fringe of the sun. So it is also, that is why the name Sun temple or the Konark temple. It is also called Black Pagoda because of the dark color of stone which is being used. Now it is very unique temple, my dear friends. It is facing east, and the first rays of the sun usually fall on the main entrance of the sun. It is built in the shape of a chariot with 12 pairs of wheel and 7 horses. The 7 horses depicting the 7 days of the week, and 12 pairs of wheels means 24 hours in a day. The construction of the temple is in such a brilliance that you can use it as a perfect sundial also. That means it can determine the time of the day also. Just imagine, it's a 750 years old temple. What amazing intellect of the people would have been at that point of time that they envisaged such kind of a thing. 1200 artisans worked continuously for 12 years to make this superb piece of architecture. And my dear friends, even after 12 years, this temple was rendered incomplete, and the son of the chief architect, his name was Dharmapada, he was instrumental in the entire completion of this entire temple. So amazed was Dharmapada with the entire final piece of the art that he was overwhelmed by the occasion, and he did something which was very tragic. He committed suicide, right? So this is a bit tragic, but what he gave to the world is simply amazing. So my dear friend, that's about the Konark temple in Orissa, in Puri district of Orissa. Let's move on to the people who are very much enthusiastic about the wildlife. The famous Ridley turtles. They swim all the way from Sri Lanka and they reach the Gahirmat beach in the seashore of Puri, and they lay their eggs out. It's the world's largest nesting grounds of Ridley turtles. Also, the Lake Chilika, one of the largest lakes of India, is also home to the migratory birds which travel all the way from the northern part of the world, and they come over here and they reside there for some time. So this is again for the bird watchers, it is a kind of a haven. Now moving on to some more interesting part of the culture of Odisha, there is a art by the name of Pattachitra. Now what is Pattachitra? It is basically the painting on the cloth. In fact, the people who practice this art, first of all, this art is 900 years old. The people who practice this art, they devise their own brushes, they use their own colors, they make their own colors rather, and they devise their own brushes, and they give some beautiful sort of patterns and designs to this particular to the piece of cloth. And you'll find such kind of saris being worn by the world famous personalities. In fact, former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi used to wear Pattachitra art of saris very often, which is on the white sari on the border. You'll find the beautiful work being done of painting being done by the artisans out there. Also, some very interesting piece of information, and this might displeasure few of my Bengali friends out there. The origin of Rasgullas is not from Bengal. I'm so sorry, my dear Bengali friends. The origin of Rasgulla is from Odisha. From some of the most famous dishes, sweets, which is made out of the milk, are being made in the land of Odisha. So there are so many interesting things about Odisha that I would love to have covered it, but I believe these are one of those finest ones. Keep watching our videos for some other interesting bit of information about this wonderful country, which is India. Thank you.